Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Corey, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. When it comes to changing a sexless relationship, within Reignited Men, the first module you go through is sexual comfort. And it's you getting the realization that when it comes to changing a sexless relationship, a lot of the things that you've been doing have been massively transactional, and they are what we call logical solutions for a behavioral problem. It's behavior that has caused discomfort within your relationship, especially particularly on your partner. She feels a sense of discomfort when sex is brought up. So she feels a sense of resistance towards seduction or a resistance towards going into arousal. So there's something that happens in terms of just behavior that is causing that to happen. So there's several ways we can go around this. And when most guys join Reignited Men or we start introducing them to the way we teach, you can start seeing that it's very different from what you've been learning or when you've been researching. So most people, when they research about this, they're told that they need to go and do more around the house because she's stressed, she's overwhelmed. So therefore, you need to be doing more around the house and doing the dishes. Therefore, you might lighten the load, and then therefore by lightening the load, she might feel a sense of wanting to have sex with you. But generally that doesn't work because, again, it pushes you in this place where you're transactional. And whenever it comes to something to do with transactional, she's most likely not, in fact, increase the discomfort around sex because all of a sudden you feel a sense of entitlement towards sex, and therefore it increases that seduction resistance. So again, there's other ways that transaction happens again within your relationship, where you decide, because we're failing to communicate, because generally they say the sexless relationship is because your relationship is failing, and is failing because of one of the most important things in a relationship, inverted commas, which is communication. But really it's not a communication problem, because within any relationship there's consistent communication. It's just what is the most important communication that gives you the aptitude, or at least the what is the communication that you have to do in order to create an environment where it's conducive for arousal, sex, and high frequency of sex. So again, it now becomes, what is that? What is that sort of information? A lot of that information, or at least that communication, is the most important communication, is that communication to yourself. What is it that you say to yourself when it comes to the relationship? Are you saying things to yourself that puts you in a place of scarcity? So therefore, you need the relationship in order to make you feel whole. Do you approach the relationship wanting sex so that you can feel a sense of validation? Do you want to have the sex because you want to feel a sense of connection within a relationship? And all of those, from a social standpoint, are all good reasons for wanting to have sex. But when it comes to it, really, there's a lot of behaviors that are contributing towards a sexual discomfort from you particularly, but also there's other driving factors from her past that will be driving factors that are causing discomfort. So insecurities, and there'll be other factors like that are the way you interact within the relationship. So there's so many things that causes sexual comfort, and this becomes the first place for us to address. And when it comes to sexual comfort, there's real three stages towards building towards this. Is really just understanding what sexual comfort is, and also building sexual comfort, which just becomes the next stage of overcoming this, and then converting sexual discomfort into attraction. So those are the three stages of what we'll teach within Reignited Men. And today I'm just going to focus on really what is sexual discomfort. And really, when most people are experiencing sexual discomfort, or at least a good measure to see that you're within sexual discomfort, you'll be feeling these feelings of being unwanted, because obviously the other person is feeling discomfort. So therefore, bringing anything to do with sex, it becomes a point of friction. And then you got this feeling of feeling unattractive then because again that person, because they feel like a discomfort around you, then maybe you can internalize this, that maybe it's something that about you that is causing them to feel that way. And again, sometimes it is, sometimes it's just a case that they've got a few things contributing from past trauma, or even just things that are pretty new within the relationship, because as you evolve within the relationship, there's certain things that evolve and bring up certain insecurities, and those insecurities become the thing that makes them resist going into a place of arousal or seduction. So again, there's also this feeling when there's this sexual discomfort, there's also a feeling where you now feel like roommates. So in order to keep the peace, because that discomfort, when it comes up, it raises a level of anxiety, which creates friction around the relationship. So in order to maintain the peace, you sort of maintain the peace, feel like roommates, but at the same time, when it comes to sex, it brings this massive amount of friction, which makes it so difficult. And the worst part about all of this is that when you do have sex, it's out of a sense of duty or a sense of pity. And again, that's just compounding the problem. So really, when it comes to it, it becomes important to understand how did we get to this point, especially when initially within the relationship, you had this really good, what we call the honeymoon period. And when it comes to the honeymoon period, you have to understand that there is like biological drivers that force you to want to go into a relationship. So that's the time when you start feelings of arousal, and she feels them too. So those are the biological drivers, because your genes and you are wanting to recreate themselves. So there's this drive of perpetuating the species. So that's one driver, and then the other driver is the emotional drivers, that essentially people do not want to be by themselves, and we have to be in a sense of community. So there's this drive also of wanting to meet somebody who you can share life with, a person that you can love, and have a love that is more romantic rather than just so. Those become the two drivers that force you to get into a relationship. So when you initially get into a relationship, those are the things that make it so exciting and amazing, because now you're fulfilling these things that you've been building up over a period of time, especially in your mind. So there's a few things that are happening. One, it was the sense of discovery, the spontaneity of the thing, what's going on, and the not knowing whether that person is the one, for example, is what creates the excitement, because then you're having to juggle so many other feelings. And there's also one important thing, that there's an increased investment from both of you. So because you're investing so much into the relationship, you then value that relationship. What tends to happen is that when the challenges come into play, a lot of people, especially from guys, there's this sort of within that interaction where you're within the honeymoon period, there is this part where you got the insecurities are buried. So you bury those insecurities because you don't want that person to know that you're a little bit insecure, and you don't think very highly of yourself, and you try and hide all of these because you know that you're gonna need to show your best foot forward in order for that person to feel like they can accept you. And again, this becomes the thing that starts off the chipping away of that honeymoon period. And as challenges come up, those challenges are really important, because that's when the insecurities come up, and sometimes just don't have the mechanism to deal with those sort of insecurities. And then this is one where, when the challenges come, most men take that dynamic of wanting to reduce friction within the relationship, because then we measure a good relationship based off of lack of friction, when really friction is a very important part of the relationship. Then in order for it to grow, you need friction in order to essentially deal with those challenges. And by dealing those challenges, it forces you to grow, but also maintains the level of investment into the relationship, which then builds value on from both of you from a standpoint. But most people take the investment of the relationship, or at least take ownership of the relationship, or take ownership of the investment, which most men do because they feel like they're white knights. They need to be able to protect him. And by doing so, you're teaching her how to not invest into the relationship. And then over a period of time, you've got this dynamic where you're consistently trying to serve within that relationship in order to feel a sense of earning her love and earning the relationship, and she feels like you need to do that thing. And this is where the burying of the honeymoon period happens. Now, I'm not going to go deep into some of the behaviors that you do in order to keep yourself in sexless, or at least allow that discomfort to happen, but I'm just going through this training because it's what part of the training that I teach, and I'm focusing on just the sexual comfort side of things, and just trying to show you how deep this rabbit hole goes. And as I'm looking at my notes here, there's so much I could continue teaching, but in the sense of this podcast, I just wanted to sort of dive you a little bit deeper into some of this stuff, so you can actually start thinking about like what is my contribution into burying the honeymoon period. And some of the things, like I said, is the fact that you're not dealing with any challenges within a relationship is a big indicator. Most people don't deal with, I mean, you're probably wondering right now, like, when was the last time you actually allowed friction to happen within a relationship, and also not cowered away from the friction. You are willing to stand for what you think is valuable for the relationship. You're willing to stand for what is collaborative for the relationship, and as well as, allowed to stand and set up boundaries for what you believe in. So again, these are important parts about a relationship and building a relationship and making that count for you, for the build up, especially from a sexual standpoint. If you don't have this piece within a relationship, it's the thing that is going to continue, or at least keep you within a sexless relationship, because again, the sexual discomfort comes from the fact that that person cannot trust you, because you cannot let go of your insecurities, or when their insecurities come up, you're not allowing them to face those insecurities so they can feel a sense of growth. But more importantly, they are investing into the relationship, which then builds value towards the relationship. So, like I said, I mean, there's few people that I can think of that have gone through something similar like this. And I think one particular one is, speaking of a guy called Frank, who for it was now 4 years since they had sex within their relationship. And we were talking about this, and he was like, I've completely given up now. Like, what he said to me is that I wish I never had any sexual desire. And I was like, that's not who you are. And if you didn't have sexual desire, you would not be the person that you are today. You shouldn't be ashamed for the way you feel. You're just not navigating that within your relationship in a way that's going to get you to the place of sexual success. And to be honest with you, because it has been 4 years, I didn't know where things were. So as we started talking about some of the issues that were going on, we started realizing that the problem that Frank was just doing every single thing to make his wife's life amazing, and completely she was coasting within the relationship. You would make sure that he goes to work. When he comes back from work, he'll come from the shop, and then he would make dinner. And sometimes we'd make dinner in advance, so you'd make maybe 2 dinners for that day, and then for the following night, so she can warm things up. Then deal with the kids and put them to bed, and then you try and spend time with her, but you couldn't spend time with her because then you had to do all the cleaning of the kitchen, make sure that the laundry is done, and then he was doing everything, and he was almost killing himself. To the point, not killing himself as in dying, but I mean just doing everything for this person. And at this point, he just could not see that, I'm giving everything I can to make this life amazing for her, but it doesn't matter how much I give, there isn't any translation in order for us to have any sex. And it was massively impactful for him, because he was wondering, like, is there is this how my life is going to turn? Did I do something in the past life to feel a sense of punishment, or am I being punished for a past life or for a past sin or something? Because it just felt really, really cruel within this relationship. And by the way, his wife was a stay-at-home mom, which made it absolutely crazy. So I said the only problem here is that it sounds like you've removed any investment for whatsoever, and the only investment she has is to look after the kids when you're not there. And essentially she's taken the role of a babysitter instead of a mother. So this is one place I would challenge initially, and that's where he challenged, and he did. And we walked him through on how you can challenge that. Well, how do you communicate and qualify her in terms of what she's investing within the relationship? And obviously, because she'd been coaching for so long, she felt a sense of like, what the fuck? Why you try to disrupt my comfort here? I'm really comfortable right now, not doing anything in the relationship, but I feel pretty shit. I feel depressed. And the sense of feeling depression and anxiety and all that was coming from the sense that she was not doing anything to build in the relationship. There's no investment whatsoever into the relationship, which made her feel shit as a mom, made her feel shit as a wife, made her feel. So it was this real compounding issue that was going on within a relationship from herself because of the investment that she had, but also it was really the sense that when he started challenging that, and she started putting the first foot forward and start doing a little bit more and really started serving him a bit more, she started feeling a sense of confidence, a sense of achievement, and again, this started a momentum. And within the time frame from the time when we started talking and the time when they had sex, it was within those 14 days that normally happened, because whenever you put that resistance, that friction that is built up, usually within 14 days, most people have sex when they start doing the challenging of the sexual comfort. And really, it's a longer lesson. I just wanted to share this because I was speaking to somebody and we were going through this, and I said, I'm going to make a piece around sexual comfort so you can get a better understanding of what this is. And I just wanted you to think about it from a sense of what are 3 things that you now know about this that you're not doing in your relationship, and that you think, I need to put this in my relationship. Or in fact, like I said, I'm only covering one part of sexual comfort, that what is sexual comfort, and how things actually evolve into this place where you are within a sexless relationship. But there's other piece about sexual comfort that you might need to know, which is building sexual comfort, which is a skill, and then also converting sexual discomfort into attraction. So which is like it might sound similar, but 2 different things that you're doing. One of them is you doing something internally, and then there's other stuff the other bit is you doing stuff externally. So again, it's 2 different things that you have to be doing in order to change the sexual discomfort environment. So these are longer episodes, and generally I make short episodes, but this was an important one. I think the next 2 days I'm going to do a few other ones. I'm going to do one on attraction, and then I'm going to pick one out of seduction. So at least so you can get a sense of where we are within the community and some of the stuff that we're sharing, completely different from what you've heard, and has worked pretty well for many men, and we've got them to a place where they feel confident and empowered within their relationship because they understand the real issues when it comes to having issues within the bedroom. So again, thank you very much for listening, guys. This is one of those. We're going to be getting more and more episodes like this where I just dive in a little bit deeper. For me, I enjoy it because it gives me an opportunity to get better at delivering the content for you guys, because as some of you know, I'm now beginning to make videos around the community. So this is going to be one of the masterclasses around the course, and I'm making the slides already for this masterclass. And if you want more information on how to join the masterclass, or at least join the Thriving Tribesmen community, go to my Instagram and type Unleashed, or DM me the word Unleashed, and then we'll show you how you can join the Thriving Tribesmen community. And again, you can be part of this masterclass, and we can dive in deeper into sexual comfort and go through how to build sexual comfort, and then how to convert sexual discomfort into attraction, which is the other piece. And these are the bits that we can talk about, some of the behaviors that you have to do, and then some of the how to transition from attraction into seduction as well. So what does that look like? And it's going to be absolutely amazing. So thank you very much, guys. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care.